Hi, this is my Barriers to Web 2.0 assignment for AEP 800. My name is Courtney Crandon. First, the website barriers to using Web 200 or 2.0 in 21st century. There were four main characters: lack of time, lack of training, lack of tech support, and lack of administration. When talking about lack of time, there's just so much on teachers' plate, and then to have to incorporate something else or learn something else, it just is hard for teachers sometimes. Lack of training, there's definitely statewide, worldwide lack of money. So I think technology kind of gets thrown down at the bottom of the list. So training goes to things like academic instead of tech support. And then lack of tech support also goes along with those budget cuts. There's not anybody that's getting paid for tech problems, so there's nobody there to support them. And then lack of administration support is just that right now they're very focused on student achievement. So again, that technology is just kind of low on their totem pole. And then the seven barriers talked about lack of vision, just not having a strong plan, changing what a teacher's role should be. Right now, we're just kind of in a limbo of being a traditional teacher or moving more towards project based learning. And then considering the achievement gaps, so socioeconomic backgrounds. For example, I work at a Title I school and we don't have very much technology. And then fourth, figuring out how to scale promising innovations. So right now, just caring about standardized test scores. I do think education's getting better about that, but it's still there. Lack of money, so lack of funds. Technology is expensive. And again, that student achievement's just higher on the list. Thinking beyond textbooks, so looking into e-texts and other resources, because textbooks are more expensive. So if we have the technology, then using those ebooks. And then lastly, having a strong infrastructure in place. So needing training and professional developments on how to use these technologies. And then the digital divide, just talked about people that can afford internet and those who can't, and then same with schools. So a lot of schools are going to one-to-one technology, but then there's also a lot of schools that don't have the funds for that. So when thinking about the digital divide and if it can be resolved, I don't really think that it's going to ever fully be resolved. I do think it could probably get better, but really it's a matter of money. There are still a lot of people that can't afford internet. Internet's very expensive. I was actually just recently looking into changing my internet because we pay so much for internet a month and we don't even have very fast. So it's really just a matter of money. And then same with personal, but also schools gaining technology. So our low, like my school is a Title I, we have computers and stuff, but then other schools are still having more technology gains than us. They're one-to-one iPads or Chromebooks or whatever the case may be. So there's still, yes, we have technology, and yes, we have quite a bit of technology, but we don't have the best that we can have. So there's still that divide. So again, I just think there will kind of always be a divide. Maybe everybody will finally get internet, but then it'll be a difference between fast, slow, or how much you can upload and all that kind of stuff. Skill sets for the 21st century, definitely critical thinking, problem solving, leadership, collaboration, creativity, and an understanding of how to use technologies. I think that all of these can be obtained by adding more technologies and more project-based learning into classrooms. So I think those are very achievable. They just need to be happening. The impact that the global economy has on my personal use of the internet. I get the news. I follow our local news station on Facebook, so I get all the local news from that way. Communication, I have a lot of friends and family from out of state, so being able to, on social media, keep up with what they're doing and what's new in their lives. Resources, looking up definitely like Pinterest or looking up different lesson plans, just constantly looking things up on the internet. Entertainment, definitely. I don't pay for cable, so I use Netflix and Hulu. I wouldn't be able to do that without internet, so I definitely need the internet for that entertainment. And then professional growth, again, looking up lesson plans and doing different kind of resources like that. Technology training that I still need. I'm a PE teacher, so I don't have a whole lot of technology training. I've taken maybe 2 classes during my undergrad and then this class. So applying it more to my curriculum and getting it more into the gym is definitely something I need to work on. Right now I use a projector occasionally, like we do Just Dance or Go Noodle when we just need a quick movement activity. So we'll use the projector or YouTube or things like that. The biggest thing is we have a sound system. So it's a pretty big gym, and there are 2 teachers, so we have 50 kids in the gym. So we use a microphone and then music. So our sound system is our constant technology that we use. But other than that, we don't really have technology, nor do we use. Neither one of us even has a school iPad. So maybe in the next couple years, hopefully we can get that and get some things going. So then I would like to learn new apps and websites to use for PE that uses the iPad. And then how to do more with less. So if we only get 1 or 2 iPads, what can we do to integrate that technology with 50 students with only 2 iPads? So those are some things that I would like to keep getting trained on. My school / district equipped with 21st century, I do believe that there are a few schools in our district that are one-to-one technology. I don't know how many, it's 259, so it's a very large district. My school, we have a lot of technology, but like I said earlier, it's still not like the best of the best. We're not one-to-one. We still have laptop carts. We have a computer lab that teachers can go to. Teachers do have a few computers in their classrooms, but not a whole classroom set. We use smart boards. I don't have one in the gym, but I know every other classroom has a smart board. We have projectors, which we do have in the gym. Document cameras. Most teachers have and use document cameras. And then colored printer, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but at my old school, if you wanted a color printer, you had to pay for it on your own. And at my school that I'm currently at, our principal pays for colored printer. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's pretty huge when you come from not getting colored ink. Advantages of innovative practices in schools. Students gaining critical thinking, definitely gaining real world application. When we start looking at those practices, we're not just worrying about test scores, because those test scores aren't exactly going to help them out in the real world. But these things like critical thinking, collaboration, problem solving, that stuff is what's going to help them along with their academic stuff. But that's what's going to help them when they get out into the career world. So same 21st century skills. And then I think technology really helps motivate students. Our students nowadays, they're really into their devices. So when you tell them, hey, we're going to get on a computer today, or the schools that have iPads, or I'm sure I'm in elementary, so I'm sure older kids, when you tell them they can get on their cell phone, I'm sure that's a big motivator for students to learn and do the project that they're supposed to be doing. Disadvantages, funding. not everybody's getting the equal amount of technology. So like my students are a little bit further behind in learning about technology than some of the other schools. Using technology inappropriately, cyberbullying, and I feel like there's a lack of face-to-face communication, which not really so much in schools, but kids when they get out of school, they're just texting or tweeting or messaging on Facebook, and there's not a whole lot of meeting up and having face-to-face communication. So I feel like students these days they lack being able to look people in the eye and have that respectful communication. I haven't personally, again, as a PE teacher, I don't deal with computers and stuff. I know that we have at both schools that I've taught at had some issues with at least inappropriate internet use, looking up things they're not supposed to. So our students have to sign a contract before school starts saying saying the rules of being on the internet and stuff like that. They get a lesson over cyberbullying, appropriate use, what happens if you stumble upon something that you're not supposed to, and things like that. So if they are caught at school cyberbullying or inappropriate use, there are severe consequences. I'm pretty sure there's some suspension days, as well as not being able to use computers the rest of the year or semester because they have signed that contract saying that they won't do those things. So again, I haven't personally experienced it, but I know that it has happened at my school. And that's the last slide. Thanks.